quite recently there was an incident in I can't pronounce the word.
Beirut.
Beirut.
Just say Lebanon.
Beirut.
Lebanon.
So Lebanon, Beirut. So there was an incident there where an explosion went off in an urban area, very populated urban area, and it killed a lot of people. You know, there have been videos, I don't know if you saw it like, on Instagram and stuff in it. Like people are just walking down the street and you just see like body parts scattered, bro. Yeah. You know, and it's
and you see like windows just get blown out and people get thrown out.
Yeah, a lot of buildings,
Just
a
from
lot
the
of
shockwave.
hospitals, stuff like that, all blown up into pieces.
Proper mushroom cloud too, you know.
Yeah, apparently after the 2 bombs in Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Oh yeah, this is the most.
It's the third most powerful bomb in an urban area.
Yeah.
Not in history, but like in an urban
In
area
an
where there
urban
were
area,
casualties and stuff. So it's crazy, man. Shows up.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, you know, like I think you said that you had a friend who was going to go there on that day.
Yeah. I had one of my friends that I know. She's in Lebanon at the moment. I think she was planning to go to Beirut for the day to visit someone, their uncle or something, but they decided not to go that day because I think someone wasn't feeling well, or they just decided to call it off and they go there tomorrow, and literally then a few hours later that happened. Yeah, it's crazy how close it got.
And you know what? It's sad, innit? Because let's say New Zealand incident, right? That was horrific. That was awful, innit? Like, you got this man live streaming himself, like it's like some sort of video game, you know, massacring Muslims in a mosque whilst they were praying in it. At the very least, in that situation, right, at the very least, you can still bury these people, you know. You can still bury that, like the bodies are still there, you know, it might have bullet holes in them and stuff, but you can give them a proper janazah, you can bury them. And it's not just for Muslims, like in any faith in it, you want to like bury you know, bury the ones who die in it. But yo, when it's an explosion and you got, you know, bits and pieces of people scattered all over the place, you can't bury that, you know. And it's such disrespect because then it's like, bro, there's no honor in it, you know, there's no dignity in it. Like, how you gonna have the funeral, how you gonna have the janazah, stuff like that, you know. And it's such an awful way to die, man.
It is, yeah.
You know, and I guess like the first time I heard about the incident, you know, I was just thinking to myself, because this isn't like Syria, bro. It's not, you know, places that has long-term war, this, that. It wasn't a place where people walk out and they think that they might die.
Yep.
This was like urban area, bro. This is the same as
Completely
Manchester City,
unexpected,
bro. You know, like you're just walking about your day, innit? You know, doing shopping, whatever you're doing, innit? And boom, you're dead. And it just made me realize, like, bro, life is so fragile, bro. Us human beings are so fragile, man. Like, we all think like, yo, I'm bare healthy, you know, like, bro, I go to the gym, you know, yo, this guy can't do anything to me, you know,
You think you're
and
so
then
big in it,
boom, something happens, you're dead.
It
Just
could be,
like
and if you could trip over and fall and you could die, you know,
yeah,
you die
bro.
from anything. Life
Hit
is
your head on the staircase, you're dead.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, I think, I can't remember, like, I saw like a video once in it, and it was like these 2 kids, right? They were fighting in it, and like one of them like punched the other one or something in it, and the other one fell down and he banged his head on the
Floor.
pavement, like on the concrete bit of the pavement,
sidewalk,
innit? That bit,
the curb.
and he died straight. He just died, just like that.
Sad.
You know, and it's like this, you don't expect it. Like, obviously no one in Beirut, they didn't expect like, yo, you know, I might die today. They probably didn't even think about that, you know, but they did. And it just makes me think, and it's like, bro, like, it's so easy for me to like just die. Like, bro, me and Tamid, we went to our friend's place yesterday.
We were in the car.
And bro, we were in the car, bro. We could have died in the car.
Yeah,
like, some
went
maniac
past,
could have like went and crashed into us and boom.
You know, me and you know as driving people, right? That there's so many times during when you're driving.
No.
Well, yeah. Well,
This guy won't drive
get
for
your
years,
theory
bro.
done, bro. Come on.
Reach the pedals first.
Anyway.
I like you say I'm joking, yeah, but you touch his leg. It's like, yeah, I'm joking, son.
No, I meant like carry on.
No, but you know how many times like.
Sorry, bro, you're too skinny, bro. What is
Innit?
this, bro?
Bro,
I said this before.
Listen, my legs.
Look how.
Sorry, bro, you need to eat more food,
Nah,
bro.
bro, stop
What is
touching me,
this?
bro. Get
His
out.
legs are the size of my arms, man.
Nah, bro. Listen, I'm not
I'm not even
skinny.
lying. Look.
No, Abu Bakr was skinny. Yeah, let's allow that.
Yeah, but Umar radiallahu
Bro, Abu Bakr was probably skinny comparatively speaking, bro.
True. No, apparently you could see the bones on his fingers and
Yeah.
stuff. By description.
You see the bones of my finger? See that? Yeah.
Bro, he was
What now?
probably 7 inch, bro.
Yeah, it's still 4 in 1 or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Your real strength is in your iman. There you go.
Alhamdulillah. The Sheikh today, please.
No, but what was the thing?
A lot of biology
cars.
teachers, bro.
Yeah,
Cars,
cause
driving.
I was saying like there's so many incidents that when you're driving you just think, how the heck did I get out there alive? You know, so many close calls, so many like you go one roundabout. The other day I was coming to here, and there was this guy. He stopped going down the roundabout. He stopped on the right. I think he may have missed an exit or something. Maybe he miscalculated. I don't know what the heck was going on. He slowed down in it. And as I was like, okay, he slowed down. I have my chance to go. I'm going. The guy instantly, he does like a 0 to 100. He goes straight at me. It was literally about to collide me, and I just like swerved away.
Right.
So that would have been a
he was on
really
the
bad,
right
because
side.
he was going like at least
Okay.
20, 30 miles per hour, and I was very slow, so that force would have hit me. So yeah, bro, alhamdulillah, so many times that I just think I could have just died here and there, and what am I doing to fix my actions? What am I reconsidering in my life to like, you know, sort this out?
And that's the thing, innit? It's like when we wake up in the morning, like in today's age, we don't walk out the house thinking that, yo, I might die.
Yeah.
Like in the past, innit, you would think that, innit, if you were in war, you know, or like if you go even further back in the past, like when you're hunting and stuff, you think like, yo, I might die today. innit?
Every day is
like,
about survival.
you know,
isn't it?
Yeah.
it's like death is around the corner, and that mentality was in our minds. Not our minds, but you know, for humanity, innit, in the past. But for us, it's not there, bro. Because we don't think about that. Like, you know, the chances of me dying today is very little, innit? You know, because of, you know, medicine, because of
Safety
hospitals,
precautions, yeah.
all of this, like, you know, and obviously, like, national security, all of that. You know, we live in, you know, alhamdulillah, we live in countries where there isn't any war or anything like that. So it's like, it's pretty calm. But then at the same time, you know, you got a place like, you know, Beirut, and like it was an urban area. It was like it was a Manchester city centre, you know, and explosion. And even Manchester city centre, it was like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande concert.
Yeah.
You know, they probably didn't expect like, yo, I might die today.
And they're going to a concert. Who expects to die at a concert? You know?
Yeah, and you know, someone like blew themselves up, and it was one of those like needle explosions, and
It's a
just
grenade,
needles hitting everyone in it, and a lot of people died just like that. And subhanallah, it just makes you think, bro. Like, bro, I am so vulnerable. I am so fragile. You know, you could be a tank, bro. You get one shot in the head.
That,
You're dead.
bro, that's reminding me of an ayah in Surah Qiyamah. I think, no wait.
Yeah, you know it's deep.
ولا
in Surah
صدق
Qiyamah.
ولا صدق ولا صلى ولكن كذب وتولى. So he didn't tell the truth. This is the previous ayahs and the net following guys are explaining how before a person dies and the state of dying and stuff like that. He didn't tell the truth, and he didn't pray, but he lied and he turned away, right? And then it goes on to say ثم ذهب إلى أهله يتمطى. So he went to his family, he went to his people, all proud and arrogant. Like, yeah, bro, I'm the boss.
Yeah.
And I was, bro, it's not even you're talking about like people going, you know, gym, thinking they're all healthy, this that. But you look at these young teenagers, right? They're not. They think they know everything from the get go. They grow up in a state of alhamdulillah. I'm glad that I had so much to learn off my parents, because I was humbled by that fact.
Alhamdulillah.
That, you know, that there is stuff that I don't know. I've yet to learn a lot of. But growing up, I'm seeing like, you know, even the kids that below us when we were in school, this that, they're growing up in a state of like this arrogance and haughtiness, like they know what's going on.
A lot of kids nowadays
And,
stuff like that.
It's like you're gonna if the entire world is gonna get shut down by a virus which everyone initially thought was like the flu, right? Then who are you to say that you know everything?
Yeah.
So
It's because like we live in a society where we have this immortal.
Can't take that phrase seriously anymore. We live in a society. It's been memed too much.
Go on, sorry. What are you saying?
What would I say that? I mean, we live in a
environment.
No, I'm just gonna say it. Yeah. So don't laugh, okay? We live in a society, yeah.
Yeah. You're the one laughing. I'm not even laughing,
No,
man.
I'm laughing because I forgot what I was gonna say. What was I gonna say?
Arrogance, haughtiness, ego.
No, yeah, we live in a society where, you know, we all think we're immortal, bro. Because, like,
True.
okay, look at media, innit? Like, look at rap music, pop music, innit? It's all about, like, yo, I got money, I got this, I got that. Yo, no one can touch me, no one can do anything. And then, obviously, you know, like, kids growing up, innit? Like, roadmen or whatever. Like, you know, the popular ones are the ones that are hard, innit? You know? Like that, right? And the ones that are tough, the ones that are gangster, innit? And that's why I don't want to be like that, innit? And then the rap music, that's what it encourages as well, you know. And then we kind of like grow up with this mentality, and it's not even just like the rap music, the gangster stuff, even like just everyday stuff like Instagram, you know, celebrity culture, all of that, right? It kind of shows you that, like, listen, you know, if you're famous, if you're rich, if you're this, if you're that, you know, or if you're like really good looking, or if you're, you know, really hench, then it's like, bro, you know, it's like, bro, I, you know, if I want this, I can get it, right?
Yeah.
And then no one can stop me, you know, this mentality that I built myself, and no one can take it away from me.
Yeah, it's like everything's, you know, fruits of your own hard work and your own labor,
Yeah.
It's hard
which is
work and
true
labor,
to an extent.
and then no
but
one can take that away from you at the same time.
And it's also, I think, the fact that because we're so surrounded by death all the time.
Yeah.
You know how like the events in Syria, Palestine, around the world have been going on for years now, and we just see it every day. We kind of just brush it off now when we see it because we're kind of just used to it and desensitized towards it.
Yeah.
So it's like death. We don't take death seriously anymore, unless it happens directly to us or we see it in front of us. It's like, oh yeah, someone like 100 people died today from corona. Oh, it's less than before, less than yesterday, but that's still 100 people that died. You know what I mean? Even one person dying is a lot, and you've got to weight it each life the same. You know, just because of like the numbers lower or higher doesn't mean that it has less effect.
Yeah, the statistics remove the actual empathy from
exactly,
people.
and they just become statistics at that point.
I'm desensitized to it. Let me ask you guys a question. Yeah. So, okay, so Beirut, that incident, you know, it killed. Can't remember how many, but it was like dozens of people, right? Died from that incident. It was in an urban area. It was an explosion, right? And the reason for the explosion was because like some like warehouse factory exploded. It was like, you know, there was just like this rich guy who like dumped all his I don't know, like chemical waste and stuff like that in a place, and then it, you know, by accident it exploded and killed all these people. Like imagine that wasn't an accident. Imagine someone purposely placed an explosive there of that caliber with the intent for it to explode and kill people. And their intent was for it to give them political gain, or for it to give them worldly gain, like, you know, they get more money from it, their businesses thrive better from it, their economy thrives better from it. It's all political, it's all, you know, to help themselves. Imagine it was that. Imagine that these people died for that reason. How much worse would that be?
It's a lot worse.
Imagine someone had the intent to do that to someone, to do that to all these people. And that's the reason why I'm saying that is because in Syria, bro, you got countries doing that, bro. You got countries like, you know, tossing missiles and explosives, like killing loads and loads of people.
And because this the ease of doing it, like I remember learning in history back in high school, time back, the significance of like taking a life is reduced a lot. Like when people used to fight in wars back in the day, innit? Obviously it was a lot more difficult and casualties were a lot less because people had to go out and fight themselves. But when you're actually in the battlefield, it's completely different, innit? But then now it's as easy as, you know, pressing some buttons and sending missiles. So there's no effort or guilt in it because like you don't experience it happening. And these people kind of abuse that.
Your hands are clean, innit?
It's the same thing as like
you go get a coffee whilst doing it.
Exactly.
A lot of that brings up the point of a lot of ex-soldiers and a lot of ex-military and veterans. They always call for, you know, not using nuclear weapons, not using missiles, not attacking. Like you see a lot of American soldiers and British soldiers that come from Afghanistan, that come from Iraq, and they come from Syria, and they were like, please stop what you're doing, you know, calm it down a bit, let's sort out peace treaties. There's whole programs going on for for these soldiers to come band together and say, let our governments, we need to talk this out better than just firing missiles or dropping bombs. Because they've seen the actual realities, they've interacted with the people there.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's that video that went viral a couple of months ago, maybe now, that a Turkish soldier giving I don't know, was it a Turkish or a British soldier, someone giving chocolate to a Syrian kid or something.
Yeah, I remember.
And then the kid thought it was that was deep. The kid was giving it back to the soldier because it's oh no, it's yours, it's not. But the kid didn't realize that it was a gift to the kid. The kid was he was so fearful that he was like, no, please take it back. I don't want any trouble.
I know the day for the kid who's the monster.
Exactly.
Straight up like that. It's like terrorists, terrorists are terrorists because they're coming to your place and, destroying the peace there. So obviously for the Syrian kid, who probably killed their parents.
Exactly. They grow up hating.
The same people in that same uniform as that guy giving him the chocolate. Obviously he's not going to take it. He's not going to want to take it.
And Lebanon, from the crisis, if you look at the stats, it suffered tons. Like their currency has dropped value by 90%.
Really? Wow.
There's a rise about 3 times as many coronavirus cases. I think 80% of the people have left been unemployed and stuff like that, are struggling to buy food and stuff like that. It's just crazy. It suffered a ton.
And on top of this, the hospitals that were damaged, they might have been treating COVID patients.
Oh yeah.
So that's even worse now because they can't, obviously, if they're dead,
they can't treat
they can't quarantine them. They can't protect them.
They can't deal with it. And
then also with the tip for donating, by the way, if you're donating, don't donate in the Lebanese currency because the value has decreased completely, so it won't be much. If you ever donate, you have to donate in dollars or pounds or something. But never in Lebanese currency.
It just makes you thinking of some people. They say Syria has been in war for so long, this, that, you say it they've been in war, people should pull out, of that war, and they're but you know what, Syria, they have their own, civil wars inside, they have their own problems, they're fighting against each other, they should fix up first, and then maybe everyone else will pull out, exactly what you said, one explosion did that to Lebanon. One explosion that killed dozens of people. Dozens of people is a lot, but one explosion in Syria, right? One chemical attack in Syria, how much does that kill? That kills thousands of people, and it's been going on for time. And the same case, right? Hospitals, right? It's not they're not just targeting soldiers and stuff. They're targeting civilians, hospitals, all of this, So obviously, when economy just goes down like that, when they can't even take care of themselves, especially with coronavirus and stuff going on, how do you expect them to fix up? How do you expect to I'm gonna throw some bombs in there and hopefully they'll fix themselves up? It doesn't work like that, And I think with what's going on in Lebanon, it's sad. It is really sad. But we need to understand that this went on, one explosion, and then that caused such an impact on everyone who heard about it. But then with Syria, there's no impact. With Syria, it's it's normal. There's still people do. What, are Syrian kids worth less than kids in Lebanon? Legit, straight up, that's what it is, because they're dying too. Except the difference is, in Lebanon, it was an accident that caused it. Alleged accident, right? Over here, it's intentional, bro. No one accidentally pressed a nuke button. No one accidentally pressed a button that said a missile up. No, it was all calculated, and it was all done with intention.
Yeah, exactly.
For what? For their own gain. And how come we're not talking about that? How come the world doesn't have an issue with that? And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of hypocrisy with it. People especially let's say celebrities, innit? Celebrities going around talking about how terrible the incident in Beirut is and this and that. It's bro, but when have you spoken about Syria? When have you spoken about your own country throwing their explosions at other countries, people too?
I think it's a bit like the Black Lives Matter movement. How at first people were always people were on it, basically everyone was reposting it, but now it's died down, even though the cases are still out there. In America, there are still protests going on, which is good, but you don't see anyone posting about it anymore. It's like people only hop on it when it's a trend.
Bro, it's a hype
And
of
then
the
when it's
month.
finished,
Exactly.
It's literally
It's a
hype of
hype.
the month. It's flavor of the month. It
Yeah,
changes
yeah.
every single month.
Once the trend's
Yeah.
dead, people
Yeah.
move on.
Move on.
They
And that's
just
the
do
thing,
it.
like we just jump on trends and hype. Like you said, it's like every month it changes. Then what's the point?
Yeah.
You can't fix an issue in a month, so what's the point? Like we're kind of just like doing something like to make ourselves feel good. Like, oh yeah, I posted that,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
video Beirut. I feel so good today now. Like honestly, that's how
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
true.
Like you're probably like, no, I was doing it because I care. Like no, that's why you did it, because otherwise it doesn't help anyone, innit?
Yeah.
Right? So like there was a time when everyone like put their profile pictures as red for Syria, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? It was Syria. innit?
I'm not sure.
Mhm.
They
It
put
was
blue for Sudan,
Blue for
Yeah.
and red
Sudan.
for Syria,
Right.
and they did all that, and they probably felt bare good by doing it,
Mm.
And then guess what happened after that? Nothing.
Yep.
Donations probably spiked a bit.
Mm.
Yeah.
People go more like more emergency aid kits and stuff like that. But that's
It's
it. Like
good.
with these type of things, that doesn't help though in the long term. It
Yeah.
doesn't do
You
anything.
need practical. Yeah.
Like practically,
about,
what do you need to
staying
do? You need to go on
consistent,
that political level in it. And that's where you can actually deal with the situation. I remember Mufti Menkana, he made a video, like someone asked him like, oh, why don't you talk about Syria? You're such a hypocrite. Why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about that? He's like, okay, what will happen if I talk about it? What will happen if I talk about it? If I talk about it, all it is that everyone's just going to feel bad for that lecture. For our lecture, they might go home, they might post something on Instagram, and that's it. Good night. Issue closed. He's like, nah. The people that need to talk about it are the people that actually have the position to make a change for it. Like Islam isn't that type of religion. It's not an impractical faith, innit?
True.
Like if you look back at Islamic history, like Prophet Sallallahu Umar ibn al-Khattab, when he was running the empire, he wasn't just sitting there like in front, as a khatib, right, giving a sermon to people saying I did blah 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 this and that. No, he was very tactical as well.
So regarding what Muhammad was saying in terms of Mufti Menk, I think we mentioned this previously in another episode. It's all about incremental change versus radical reform, which is the idea of this. There's some situations which you can't change instantly, like Syria. You can't change instantly, right? You can talk about it, but it will take time, of course, right? But the issue is that one, no one talks about it, and two, people only do it for the hype. These are the two main issues that we've talked about, right? So what are the solutions to these issues? One, start talking about it. Two, you need to make you need to make small progressions every so often, right? So this could be such as, activism in whatever form you feel comfortable with, or whatever form you can do, because in some countries you can't be that active in political situations, etc. Right, alhamdulillah, we have freedom of speech in the UK, so within the bounds of what's set by the UK law, we can say whatever we want, right? So we have some leniency here, right? Or two, donations is probably one of the most practical ways to get out there, right? Instead of mashallah, whoever donates money to charities and causes, that's good, but do that continually. Like Lebanon's been in a much worse crisis before this accident happened.
Yeah,
they had economic
three
turmoil.
different crises.
Yeah,
Economic, political. What was the third?
COVID.
Yeah, medical.
Yeah. So they already had these major crises before the accident even happened. So continue with donations.
Such a big impact on them.
Exactly. So don't just stop your donations now, right? And if you can, some of us, alhamdulillah, we drive nice cars, we have nice houses, we have like 2 consoles, we have a PC, this that, right? We have all this.
Not yet.
Inshallah.
We have all this luxury, and we have so much disposable income, and some of us, alhamdulillah, have very high-paying jobs as well. Some people get very high-paying jobs early on in their career, right? So spread that income out, right? Instead of giving £10 or £20 or £50 to one cause, spread that £50 out to 5 causes, give £10 each. That's much more effective at solving the issue over a longer period of time than just focusing on one issue, right? Sorry, I was just gonna finish off by saying there are some times when you need to focus on one issue specifically, right? Like what happened with what's it? A few months ago, man. What were you talking about? Like
Yemen.
Yes, okay, Yemen. When that was an instant need, and it still is an instant need now. But back then, the country was being wiped off the map, and I think maybe it's still close now, but maybe less so. So that was an instant, thing then. But try and spread your donations.
Back then, it was like UN was like, "Yo, we're gonna pull out."
We're gonna pull out, yeah.
You know, so
yeah, I was saying, kind of coinciding what you said in it about, it kind of goes with being consistent as well. Like if you're gonna post something, make sure you keep doing it.
Yeah.
Don't just post it once and alright, that's fine. You know, keep it up. So then every week, every day, or just keep it saying, just a daily reminder, fill out these. You know, donate to this. You know,
don't just like make your
in that
picture
way,
blue for a month and that's it. You know.
Yeah, in that way, like it's more practical because fair enough, someone might see it once and be like, but then if someone keeps seeing it, eventually they click on it, innit?
Yeah.
It works with these ads. Every time I get an ad, like you know, a game or something.
It's not the first time. It's always like the second.
The first time I just skip past it. And later, I just keep seeing the same ad again and again. What the heck? If I press it, will it go? So I just go on it or something. But yeah, in the end, it's like after the 10th time I see it, I'm like, okay, let me see it. I get the game and just delete after 2 minutes. But like the point is that being consistency is what gets people seeing it. You know, no one's gonna see something the first time and remember it forever.
True.
If they keep seeing it every day, it's gonna like embed in their memory, and then eventually, and then that's gonna actually cause change. So it's good to be consistent, and with donations as well. Like you say. Like when you're donating, don't just donate once. You know, allocate some money every month aside, or if you know how much you get paid, allocate a certain amount. You know, instead of buying takeaway or shoes, you know, we've like said this before, but just allocate a certain money for charity like every month. It won't be a lot for you, but it'll be a lot, you know, for someone else. And then consistency is like the main key aspect just for success in anything really.
Yeah, and then obviously the final point would be, you know, make dua in it. You know, like.
100%,
you know, I think as people, like, we will make dua for ourselves, and then maybe we'll make dua for our family, but then that's about it. We don't really go towards the whole world, you know, and it makes sense in a way, like, obviously you're just there like, oh, you know, obviously you're there like, oh yeah, I can make dua for world peace, but I know that Allah's not going to give world peace in it because that dies in His plan. But when you make, like, why did the Prophet ﷺ make dua for the whole ummah? You know, there was a reason behind it. And when you make dua, you have to make it with conviction. You can't make dua and be like, I'll just say it, but I know it's not going to come true. No, you say it and you know it's going to come true.
Believe it, Don't underestimate the power of dua.
And the way you do that is you have to make it more interpersonal, innit? By saying like, oh, you know, I'm making dua for the people in Beirut. You know, I'm making dua for the people in Syria, the people in Yemen. You know, and you say it like that. If it's an incident, make dua for it. And you have no idea like how far that dua can take it.
Because there are 3 types of du'as, isn't it? The one that accepted straight away. Yeah, these were like du'as of the prophets and stuff like that. Ones that be accepted straight away. Ones that be accepted after a certain amount of time. And ones that instead of accepting your du'a, Allah gives you something better in return. So think the beauty of du'a is that no du'a is ever rejected. Like you could make dua for anything and it will never ever be rejected. Either it will be accepted later on or Allah will give you something better in return. Like it's a win-win. So don't underestimate the power of dua in it, because dua is like the most power. It's like the weapon of the believer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was that a hadith or was it a quote by a?
It might be a quote.
Yeah, I think it was a quote. But yeah, dua is the weapon of the believer. So it's like your most powerful weapon. So
and coming to what you were just saying now, I was talking to my friend maybe a few months ago now, and you know, I had this very pessimistic attitude about how the world would go, and you said that, you know, making dua for world peace is kind of pointless because, you know, like that's not in Allah's plan. But number one, who are you to know what Allah's plan really is? Number two, he pointed out the fact that the world can get better before it gets worse. So it doesn't necessarily have to, you know, progressively keep getting worse. There might be a period when it gets better, and that period of betterment might be all that's needed for those countries that are suffering to come back into the light, come back into actual, you know, progressive and what we live by modern standards, right? They might find and not even more modern standards by like 50 years ago, they might find actually get good electricity, good water supply, this, that. So, like Ahmed said, don't underestimate the power of dua. And don't be this guy like I was a while ago, which was, you know, very pessimistic, thinking the world's only going to get worse. What's the point of making dua for certain things if they're not going to come true? That's not for you to, that's not for you to decide. You make the dua with full certainty that if Allah wants it to come true, it will come true, right? And conviction as well, especially like what Muhammad said.
It's like this, innit? Like, you're right, like world peace, we don't know, innit? What we know about what world peace is kind of like, what we know about is that, the fact is this life is a test, and because of that, there will always be evil in life.
True.
There will, you can tell Allah to get rid of all evil, but the thing is, He won't, because if He got rid of all evil and everything is suddenly good now, then it won't be a test anymore. Yeah. But obviously, like Saad said, exactly, pretty much. Like Saad said, like, even if that's the case, it can still be better. It can still be better, and like Saad said, it can be enough for people to get out of crisis. There's something I want to say in it, right? For a lot of us, innit, we grow up obviously like as Asians, especially. So like our parents, they want us to be doctors, they want us to be engineers, they want us to do this, and we grow up with this idea that I need to go university, I need to get a job that I can get a lot of money for myself and that I can provide for my family, which is good. You should be trying to get more money, but then that's it, man. That's where it stops. We should start like encouraging ourselves and our family and our children to go for other jobs that can actually, like, the reason why right now I said, like, listen, for a lot of us, we can't even do anything about the situation. Why? Because none of us are in a position to do anything. Yeah. Like, on a political level, how many of us are? Right? And that's why, like, bro, where are all the Muslim, where are all these people that, are saying, like, help Syria, blah, blah, blah. Where are they in, like, politics and stuff? They're not in there because we're all focused on trying to be doctors. Like, it's sick being a doctor in it, but some of us should be politicians. Some of us should be in media. Some of us should be on the BBC and this and that. Because if that was the case, like, bro, if Muslims were represented in media, like we said in the first episode of afterschooldawah, they were represented media, you wouldn't have Islamophobia. If they were represented in politics, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Muslims, but anyone that supports these type of causes. But I'm saying to the Muslims, because as Muslims, we don't want to do that. We just want to get a good job for ourselves. True. We don't tend to think about, I want to be a politician so I can help people. I want to be this so I can help people. Even, I'm not gonna lie, man. A lot of people that say like, I'm studying medicine, being a doctor, and I'm like, I'm asking them why, and they're like, good. It's a safe job in there, good money, and my parents told me. So that I have doctor before my name in it. So instead of Mr. Muhammad, it's Dr. Muhammad, in it. And that's it. Like, we're so selfish, bro. Like, it's weird because as Muslims, we're meant to be the most unselfish people. Yeah. Unselfish, is that even a word?
No, selfless.
It's selfless, yeah.
Unselfish is it?
Both work, both work.
Unselfish.
Yeah,
unselfish.
No,
selfless.
It's selfless.
Selfless work. I'm pretty sure I've heard unselfish as well. What? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, whatever. This
for the safeness.
Yeah, for the sake of it.
For context,
selfless.
For the safeness.
Today. So, we're meant to be the most selfless, but we're always just so selfish, bro. And we kind of like disguise it by saying, if I get more money, I can give charity. Like, fair enough, you can. But is that it? Like, does charity fix all the problems? No, it doesn't. If that was the case, a lot of problems would already be fixed, innit? So we do need to look into these type of things, innit? Because, like, we can sit here and post Instagram posts every day or all day, as much as we want. But at the end of the day, if you want to make a real difference, that's where it is. You have to be realistic about how you do things, innit? Because we don't live in a fantasy, where it's like, I'm gonna have my profile picture as red for a month, and then Donald Trump's gonna look at it and be like, oh crap, man. I can't be doing this,
He's got a red profile picture, bro. It's game.
It's game over, we need to go help Syria. It doesn't work like that, innit? Like, you need to be in there. Like, how many Muslims are there in the UN, bro? In the UN's council, whatever. Like, how many, bro? So Jazakallah khair for listening to today's episode.
Jazakallah.
If you found it beneficial, then please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please do follow us on Spotify, iTunes, or whichever podcast platform you want to. And share our videos and our podcast to your friends and family. Inshallah, I'll be posting self-growth videos on my own channel, Muhammad Imran. So subscribe to that too. Hopefully I'll record something this weekend, innit? Yeah, shameless plug. Shameless plug right here.
Yeah.
And we will also be recording solo videos on After School Dawah. Like I said, the next one's gonna be from Saad, and it's gonna be how you can study Islam whilst at uni. So really do subscribe to the YouTube channel to check that out, innit? But yeah, with that said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.